So the numbers for the Deontay Wilder and Dominic Breazeale fight are in. This is the battle camp. Please hit the subscribe button. You can find it in the bottom right hand corner of your screen. So I was just scrolling through Twitter, minding my own business, and I noticed Keith Idec had tweeted some figures with regards to how many people actually watched the Deontay Wilder and Dominic Breazeale fight. So I'm going to put a screenshot of the tweet on my screen, but I really suggest you guys go through the whole thread. People responding to Keith and his responses back to them, because it will give you a clearer picture of how these numbers are broken down. But anyway, so in terms of a live viewing audience, the fight did 990,000 live views, and this was both the numbers from live people watching live on TV and people streaming it on the Showtime app. So they added those numbers up and they got to 990,000. The average figure was 886,000, which makes sense because average figures are always lower than the peak because, you know, everyone doesn't sit through the whole entire undercard of the fight. This number was actually lower than the reported numbers for the Wilder Ortiz fight. That fight peaked at 1.2 million and averaged at 1.1 million, and I'm going to come back to that because it's quite important. And the numbers were higher than the Wilder and Stavern rematch, which peaked at 887,000, and the average was 824,000. That makes sense because I think Stavern was like a late replacement. Because if I remember correctly, he was looking big fat Stavern in that fight. But anyway, the reason why I wanted to come back to the Wilder Ortiz numbers, the 1.2 and the 1.1, these numbers are literally just the TV audience. It doesn't include any streaming. Now, I don't know whether this means that Showtime didn't have an app in them days, so there were no streaming numbers, or it just doesn't include the streaming numbers. Unfortunately, this thread that I'm referring to doesn't give us this information. But what it does give us is Keith Idec said the streaming numbers for the fight, so people that didn't actually watch on TV that actually streamed it on an app, were between 90 and 100,000, which means people that actually watched it on TV was closer to the 800k mark. Now, for me, I don't differentiate between streaming and live TV audience. I don't care. Like, if people have an option to stream a fight, then fucking let them stream it. I don't know why people in this thread are looking down on the 990,000 number just because a tenth of them chose to watch it on a phone or a laptop or, you know, a device that wasn't their TV. I don't get what the beef is with that, because if you're watching the fight, you're watching the fight, right? Your eyes are on the screen and you're watching it. What I find a little bit, like I said earlier, a little bit disappointing in these numbers is the fact that Wilder Ortiz, just with the TV audience, did a bigger number. I find that disappointing because the whole process and the whole reason Deontay Wilder is fighting on Showtime and not on pay-per-view is to build an audience. It's to build a profile. It's to gain more traction with the casual fan. And when we're talking from a casual fan perspective, and when I'm not talking about a hardcore boxing fan here, so you have to take your hardcore hat off and put a casual hat on. As a casual fan, you don't know how good Dominic Breazeale is compared to Luis Ortiz. In fact, all you have got to go by is the fact that Dominic Breazeale and Deontay Wilder talked an awful lot of shit to each other in the build-up to this fight. You've got those pictures or those grainy footage of them getting into the altercation in the hotel room. You've basically got all the ingredients you need to draw the attention of a casual fan. These guys hate each other, and they're going to settle the differences in the ring. That's what draws a casual fan to your fight, is beef, basically. Deontay Wilder said himself that the reason why he was happy to fight Tyson Fury is he finally had a dance partner that could talk the way he talks, that could help him sell the fight by talking. And to be fair, Dominic Breazeale, he talked a really good game compared to what he was able to do in the ring. Dominic Breazeale seemed confident in what he was saying. He seemed to believe that he was going to win this fight. And if you're a casual fan, I can't see what would stop you from watching this fight, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean? Even his record, he's only got one loss on his record, and that was against Anthony Joshua. Like, if you're a casual fan, just on the face of it, this is a decent fight. Even though Deontay Wilder is, probably would have been the favourite in your head as a casual fan. And I'm trying to think as a casual fan here, because obviously I'm not, but I'm just trying to put myself in their shoes. This fight had enough ingredients in my mind more ingredients in my mind for them to tune in to this fight over the Luis Ortiz fight. Now, why these numbers don't reflect that is because the audience that tuned in for the Dominic Breazeale and Deontay Wilder fight was a hardcore boxing audience. People that follow the sport, people that keep up to date with the sport, people that know what's going on in the sport, and people that wanted to see this fight because they're fans of boxing. Now, why this is a concern is when we're talking about purse splits when it comes to a fight between Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury, whoever else, Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua, the biggest bargaining tool that you have are numbers. And these numbers aren't doing Deontay Wilder justice in terms of what he does in the ring. These numbers are fucking disappointing. I can't put it in any other terms. Keith Idec also published an article when Wilder won the fight. And he spoke about, he basically, I'll read it out to you. The hard-hitting WBC heavyweight champion obliterated Breazeale by blasting him with a crushing right hand that knocked him out in the first round and at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn. Wilder's pulverizing punch to the side of Breazeale's head left the challenger flat on his back and quickly brought the crowd of 13,181 to its feet. 13,000 fucking people. Now, the Barclays Center is a place that has consistently been holding boxing events over the last 4 or 5 years. It's not like it's a new market. It's not like it's a place that isn't, that the people around that area aren't familiar with the fact that boxing is held at the Barclays Center. PBC have held over 10 events there. I mean, Deontay Wilder himself has fought there 3 or 4 or 5 times himself. I'm pretty sure Sean Porter fought there against. Actually, I'm not sure who else has fought there. Oh, actually, Paulie Malignaggi fought Broner there. I know there's been a number of other fights that have happened at the Barclays Center. I really should have checked, but 13,000. I didn't check this, but I'm gonna do it while you guys are listening to me because I want to know what the capacity for the Barclays Center is. Barclays Center capacity. Boxing 16,000. So they didn't even sell out the arena. And just because he said there's 13,000 people there, how many of those people got complimentary tickets? How many of those tickets were actually sold? How many of them were actually bought by people that are coming to watch this fight and willing to pay their hard-earned money for it? Like, the thing that there's a massive disconnect between Deontay Wilder's presence online, people watching him knock people out on Instagram, people watching him, say stuff like "to this day," people watching his interviews on the Breakfast Club, etc. People interacting with him on Twitter and whatnot, people mentioning him, being, the most searched person on the internet, whatever it was that ESPN said he was. But it's all well and good going viral. Like, stupid things go viral. Do you remember that video? I'm in my mum's car. Get out my car. Oh, who remembers that? I know you do, because you're watching this. That went viral. But where are they now? Like, did they make money off of that? Things go viral, people go viral, videos go viral, but that viral moment is only important if people are willing to put their hands in their pocket and pay to see you next time. Right now, it just feels like Deontay Wilder's audience are just sitting at home and they're happy to not bother paying to watch him fight live in the arena. And they'll just wait for the fight to happen, and the next morning they'll just see the knockout on Instagram and they'll just look at the memes about it. And that's very, very concerning, because he's not actually building a fan base. And I don't know why. I'm not there. I don't know why he isn't connecting with people. Why people don't want to come and it doesn't make sense. The guy he's knocked 40 people out or whatever it is. Like, even, the fight where he hasn't done it against Tyson Fury was exciting. The only fight that was quite boring was the Stiverne fight, really. Apart from that, like, you can't fault him in terms of entertainment in the ring. But there's just something missing, and I don't know what it is. I can't understand why American audiences just aren't gravitating towards him. It just doesn't make sense. And these numbers back up what I'm saying. I'm not trying to be a fucking hater. I'm just telling you what these numbers are. Like, if he was a star, that arena would have been sold out. Only 16,000 people. It's not that much. That arena would have sold out. They wouldn't have had to tape off some of the upper tier. If he was a star, then more than a million people, like 900, he didn't even hit 1 million viewers for the fight. More people would have tuned in to watch him fight. It's concerning, because these numbers should be rising fight after fight. Like, the Luis Ortiz fight was like that was him. Right, he's come to the dance. He's at the table now. That fight, it showed he's a great fighter, and it was an exciting fight, and over 1 million people watched it. Then he had his pay-per-view with Tyson Fury, and wow, what a fight, how exciting, etc., etc. It brought him more into the mainstream. Now, the next time he's fighting, this is a fucking free event. You're not even being asked to pay. Like, if you're a subscriber to his Showtime, you're not even being asked to pay extra. It's just there. Just watch it. It's there for you. But less people watched it than the Luis Ortiz fight. And the Luis Ortiz fight was before the Tyson Fury fight. And the Tyson Fury fight was what was meant to bring him to the fucking mainstream. Like, these numbers aren't lying. It's telling an actual story. People aren't gravitating towards him. And I wish they did. I wish they did, but they're not. And I don't know why. I can't put my finger on it. I really can't. But anyway, that's me doing a bit of maths around these numbers. Let me know what you guys think. Put your comments below. Don't be scared to hit the subscribe button. Please comment below if you think I've misinterpreted anything, if you think I'm wrong in any way. Not you, Sean, because you've written me enough essays as it is, mate. I'm telling you now. If you're going to come back to me, Sean, and I'm talking to you specifically, I need you to not give me numbers that you've plucked out of your ass. I need you to not just say, oh, the Joshua Wilder fight does 2 million on Showtime, easy. Wilder's a big star. How? What have you got to back that up with? That's just your opinion. Now I'll talk to the rest of you guys that are watching it. Please feel free to put any comments below. Don't be scared to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, share this with a mate, and I'll get you guys on the next one.